Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland with a new layout for Hip Kit Club. I'm using the April kits, so I have the main kit, the Pocket Life kit and the Embellishment Kit. I have the colour kit too, but I didn't use that for this layout today. I am making a layout for Cut File Day, so I have used these fabulous eggs by Kimberly. I think they're a freebie one that anyone can download, so head over to the website to grab those. I have cut it 3 times. I think there's two different eggs on this one cut file, and they're only slightly different. They have different patterns within them, so they're really cool, really pretty. I've cut them 3 times, so I've cut 2 the same in the smaller size, and then I've cut 1 in the other design bigger. Fabulous crepe paper, rainbow paper, and I have action on white card. So I did that. I just cutting the outline again, just a piece of plain white card. So now I can really see. I've got colourful eggs, and I can really see the pattern. The pattern shining through because the white makes the pattern stand out so well. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting my layout together. I'm going to use a striped paper, that one there by Crepe Paper, Making Home Sweet Story. It's pretty lines, so it's got some yellow lines and some pink lines. It's quite a subtle paper, and I'm going to use that for my background because I'm still on a mission to use lots of pattern paper in my backgrounds at the moment. That's my resolution for 2020. I have decided that it needs a border because I like my pages to have borders. So I have the piece of white cardstock I had left over from cutting the eggs out of. I have trimmed the middle out, and then I have used that as my border, and I've cut my pattern paper background down a little bit to 11.5 inches square. That's what I've done for my background, and now you can see that I can arrange those 3 eggs onto my background. Having the white cardstock backing the egg cut files works really well because I can move them around and I can't see the lines from the pattern paper through the gaps in the cut file. So it just makes them easier to use, in my opinion, rather than have patterns shining through. I prefer to have one piece that's solid that I can move around, and it doesn't matter about my layering because you can't see through them. So that's what I've done there. You can see that I have 4 photos. I've printed them pretty small, so they are like 2 by 3. Actually, they're slightly smaller than that, but approximately 2 by 3. I'm going to kind of arrange them across the bottom of the layout in like a horizontal line, although they'll be grouped and kind of higgledy-piggledy, you know, in my normal style. I'm just working out approximately where I want them to go. I'm working out the arrangement of my eggs, where I'm going to be happy with those, where I want them to sit, and my photos will sit on top of my eggs for the most part. So I will be covering up some of those beautiful eggs, but this is the thing with scrapbooking, you know, if you have a large element like this with nothing else on it so you can show it off, actually then it looks a little bit clunky and looks like it doesn't quite look right on the page as far as I'm concerned. So I prefer to layer things and cover bits up, and you still get the overall effect of a cut file such as this by doing it that way. So I'm happy with this method. So I'm now just doing some fussy cutting. So on one of the journaling cards that came in the April kits, there was loads of Easter eggs. Hooray! So this is obviously an Easter layout. I should have probably said that at the beginning. There was a whole bunch of Easter eggs, so I've cut them all out from the journaling card. There were quite a few. They're all pretty. They've got lovely designs on them. You know, some have got flowers and swirls, some have got polka dots, some have got circles. So they're really cute, and they go really well with this Easter egg cut file, of course. So I've just spent a moment fussy cutting those out, and now I'm just going to get everything stuck in place. So I've put my eggs in place, I'm sticking them down. What I do quite a lot of the time is I stick the bottom section of things flat, so just with tape, and then I raise up the top on foam pads. Now I do that because I tend to layer on my layouts at the bottom of things. So rather than put too many layers at the top, I would normally have layers that overlap things, if you know what I mean, at the bottom. So the eggs, for example, I'm not going to cover the tops, I want them poking out. So the bottom section I stick flat just using tape, and the top section I raise up on foam pads so that I get some dimension there. And then it's easier that way to then add things to the bottom section of those eggs. I do the same thing with my photos, so I tend to stick the bottom sections of the photos flat, the bottom edge flat with double-sided tape, and then I raise up the top of them with foam pads. Again, same principle applies. I normally layer over things, but I would normally only layer over the bottom section of a photo, not the top. It's not unheard of, I do sometimes do the top, but normally when I layer things around the top of a photo, I tuck them under the photo rather than layer over it. So I tend to layer over the photos at the bottom and then layer under the photos at the top, if that makes sense. So that's what I've done on all these photos. I've actually mounted all of them onto little bits, scraps of paper, cardstock and ephemera. So yeah, I think I've done the one on the right is a blue journaling card. The two on the left are on a pink journaling card, and then the one in the middle, or the third one along, is mounted onto a piece of Sweet Story ephemera. So it's like the bluey green film strip. So I wanted that bit to show. So that film strip part is sticking out on the right hand side. And I've just dressed the edges of every layer, of course. Under the left hand photo, I've also added a piece of Sweet Story ephemera. It's a black little ticket thing, so that just gives a pop of darker colour on that photo that makes it stand out a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm trying to work out what my title is going to be. I want Happy Hunting because we're on an Easter egg hunt. So I loved the word happy. That was, I've cut it out. Where did I cut it from? I think it was a journaling card, or it might be from the cut apart sheet, or it may even have been a piece of ephemera. Goodness, I can't remember. But anyway, it was in there in the Sweet Story stuff somewhere. So I've cut out all the letters individually. So rather than have one piece, I wanted them all cut out individually, and then I can layer them up, or I can raise some up on foam pads, have some stuck flat, and then I can have some higher than the others. So yeah, that's how that's looking. And I'm going to add the second word with the beautiful pink thickers that came in April kits. So that's going to form my title, Happy Hunting. And you can see where I'm going to put it. It's over on the right hand side of the layout above the eggs. And I have that little butterfly there as well. That is fussy cut from something in Sweet Story as well. And I'm just going to raise that on foam pads too. I want it to kind of look like it's flying off the page. So here I am adding my thickers, and just I'm getting the sticky ones stuck down first, and then I will add the happy in a moment, just to make sure that I have the positioning right, because they're individual letters and they're all being stuck with foam pads. It was easier to stick the sticky alpha thickers down first, and then I can add the other word in a bit later. Okay, so I'm just adding in my Easter eggs now. So that's those little ones that I fussy cut from a journaling card. Now my layout's pretty much coming together. I've got the basis, the background and the photos down. So now it's really just a case of the embellishments. So now that all my photos are down, I can add those little Easter eggs, and I've got some bows there as well from the Sweet Story ephemera and chipboard. Just getting all the Easter eggs stuck in place. I'm raising every single one on foam pads, of course. So I have two clustered together in the middle, and then one on either side, and I have one on the final edge of my left photo as well. So and now you can see that I'm just sorting my photos out. So I had them stuck at the bottom edges, but I hadn't put foam pads at the top, so just going through and adding those. Sometimes I forget to do this section, this section, and I realised later that actually my photos are barely stuck down. So I'll quickly have to go in and add foam pads. Anyway, so look at me remembering to do something at the right time for a change. Okay, so now I'm moving on to getting my word happy stuck in place. So I'm using my foam pads to just raise every single letter up. I could have stuck them flat, but I really do like the shadows, the dimension that's provided by foam pads. They are one of my favourite items to use. I absolutely love them. Although without my nails, I don't have any nails at the moment because of COVID-19. I can't go and get them done. I normally wear acrylic nails, and flicking the backs of foam pads is always really easy with acrylic nails. But now I have natural nails, I find it much more difficult. So you may see a decline in my use of foam pads over the next month or so until I can go and get them done again. When will that be? Who knows? Okay, so I've moved on a little bit now. I've fussy cut some of the beautiful blooms from the Pebbles Hey Hello sheet. It's like a pink sheet with lovely pink and reddy flowers on. So I've cut a number of those out and I've tucked those in here and there. So I've tucked some behind my photos. I've got a bit of a cluster going over on the right hand side, and one at the top left corner of the left photo, and then a little bit more in between photos 3 and 4 as well. So just added those in, just tucked them in where I could. I'm now going to add some gold thread. Just wanted a few twiddles to be coming out of my clusters. So adding one to the left hand one, and then the one in the middle of the photos 3 and 4 as well. I think I say this every time, but I use a We Are Memory Keepers thread. That's my favourite thread to use. It's designed to go in a sewing machine. It's like an oiled thread, so therefore it's not cotton and it behaves well. So basically I can get perfect spirals with it, loops, perfect loops, rather than it bending or being messy. I don't like messy. Yeah, I use the gold We Are Memory Keepers thread. So under embellishments, and now I am moving on, just finishing off little bits and pieces, seeing what else I can add. So I've added in a gold bow. I've added in some of the brads from the Cardbella collection, and now I'm just adding in my journaling. So I love this background paper, it has lines on it, so therefore it's really easy to write on. So I've just written, fun time searching for Easter eggs on Easter Sunday. Theo was super excited when he found one, but immediately sat down to eat it rather than search for more. So that's what my journaling reads. I'm just using a really fine tip pen there to write my journaling in. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I just went off to add some stitching. You probably won't be able to see it, but I've just added a little bit of stitching detail with my machine up on the top left corner of the layout along the lines. Okay, that is me completely finished. So thank you so very much for joining me today. Sorry for the overexposed photo. I thought it would be a good idea to take a photograph in the garden in the sun. Yeah, fail. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that if you subscribe to Hip Kit, you get the main kit at a reduced price. You get 15% discount on all add-on kits, and you get access to exclusive subscriber cut files. So lots of good reasons to subscribe. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.